with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like life, I'll rise.
I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless.
Give it up for the host of Black NewsBeat, Dr. Kamika Campbell.
Welcome. You haven't seen this face in a while. Welcome to the Black NewsBeat with Dr. Kamika Campbell, and I am Dr. Kamika Campbell. Well. It has been quite some time. I've been here with y'all since July, and the last two shows have been our Hispanic Heritage Month shows, and so we're back in the building for Black NewsBeat, and we are in October, so you know what that means. You know that we'll be focusing on our elected officials this time. We have a lot to talk about in the way of civic engagement and everything like that. So tonight, and I like to talk about what the international days are. So today, what's National Day today? Today, we're talking about 2 days. The first one is International Lesbian Day. Woo! Any lesbians in the house? No, not one tonight? That's okay. Because this goes out to all of my lesbians all across the world. You guys put the L in LGBTQIA+, and we love you guys so much. Today is also National Heroes Day. Woo! And this one I want to give out to all my community heroes. You guys make Harrisburg and the region what it is. And we're really just proud and happy to have you guys in our lives. So thank you to our heroes. Thank you to community leaders and nonprofit leaders who hand out food, who help people with domestic violence issues, who do all this work with our immigrants. Yeah, that's a big hot topic this week, okay? We thank you and happy National Heroes Day to you. Next up on the docket, we're gonna be diving in what's happening with Harrisburg and beyond tonight. So stay tuned. We are going to talk about the Super Bowl stage. I know y'all know what that's about, okay? We are going to sit down, also talk about what's been happening on the House floor in the state of Pennsylvania and the government shutdown. Ooh, and we have a very special guest tonight, Mr. Imhotep Muhammad. And we will be talking to him about his experiences with the prison, police, and penal system in Dauphin County and the state of Pennsylvania. So let's sit tight. We got a lot to talk about tonight. But first, let's sweep these streets and see what's going on. Now, the country has been in quite the uproar for several million reasons, it feels. It feels like a new reason every 5 minutes. Does it not? If it's not, we're not talking about what's happening in Chicago and Portland and what's threatening to happen in Philadelphia even. We're also talking about, oh my goodness, all the other things that are happening across the country. So let's start with, our municipal elections. So if you didn't know, yesterday marked 1 month until our municipal elections in Pennsylvania. What does that mean? Municipal elections or local elections deal with seats like the mayor, the controller, our Dauphin County row seats. We have clerk of courts is up. We also have 2 in our county judicial seats that are up for the Court of Common Pleas. And we have 5 judicial retention elections across statewide for the state of Pennsylvania. We have 3 Supreme Court justices. We have 2 Commonwealth Court justices and 1, Superior Court justice. So we have 5 justices up across the state. So what I want you guys to know is, for retention, you only vote yes or no. Yes or no on retention questions. How you vote is up to you, but I will be voting yes on our retention questions for a couple reasons. 1, our Supreme Court judges are the ones that ensure that we keep the rights enshrined in our Pennsylvania Constitution. Clean air and clean water is one of the biggest ones, and fair districts for all, which we have enacted right here in Dauphin County and right here in Harrisburg, picking up an extra House seat, what they were calling opportunity districts, to represent residents much better in our region. So these fair districts, keeping our environmental protection resources here in the state of Pennsylvania, that's important to us. Now, when you think about the state of Pennsylvania's constitution, and you think about the national constitution, you want to think about this. The state of Pennsylvania's constitution gives you more than just our national constitution. Think of our national constitution, the U.S. Constitution, as a floor, and think of the Pennsylvania Constitution building on top of that. So if you're a resident of Pennsylvania, one of the big things in our Constitution that really protects us is the right to clean air and clean water. Isn't that something good? I would think that's good.
Yeah.
Gibbs the only one that likes clean air and clean water, apparently. So think about that. And also, you have the chance right now to get your sample ballots. So if you are standing in front of me also, you can vote. Check your voter registration at vote.pa.gov. Check your voter registration at vote.pa.gov. If you are standing in front of me, you can vote. If you are out in this community, you can vote. It's been 12 years, maybe even more, since felons could vote in the state of Pennsylvania. So if you are standing in front of me, most likely, unless you're committed election fraud, you can vote. Okay? Go ahead and get that straightened out. You have until October 20th to register to vote for the November 4th election, Tuesday, November 4th. All right. Next up, Bad Bunny is hosting the Super Bowl. And I hope the whole thing is in Spanish. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm so excited about Bad Bunny. I remember Tite Me Pregunto was the first song I ever heard from Bad Bunny. And it was from Mr. Silva online, a TikTok sensation. And I was like, who is this music? And if you listen to Bad Bunny's music, he goes through almost every genre of music. He goes through all different kinds of subject matters. And he really positions his music as revolutionary music. Now, since the announcement that Bad Bunny was going to be hosting the Super Bowl, there was some backlash. Can anybody guess what the backlash was about?
Yeah, because they were scared of a non-American being...
a non-American. They said, hashtag deport Bad Bunny. Does anybody know where Bad Bunny's from? Oh, he's from Puerto Rico. So, so how are we deporting Bad Bunny? Where are we deporting him to? Are we just going to contain him to the island of Puerto Rico?
Besides, don't forget Rihanna and U2
yes.
and Coldplay.
Yes.
Never American
Never,
citizens.
none of them. Not one of them was an American citizen. Honey, listen. So they were like, deport him. And they were like, put him where? On the island? Well, he already deported you because he said he's not doing no shows in the States because he's scared that y'all going to harass his fans. So he took his residency to Puerto Rico, 31 shows, and it was the most lit residency they have ever seen. First time doing it in their arena, and people were flying in from all over the world to see Bad Bunny. It was amazing. So I know what I'm gonna do. Every Monday, I already announced it on the page, we're doing Spanish lessons. We're doing Spanish lessons for Benito Spanish lessons, all right? And we are gonna learn all the Bad Bunny songs that I think are gonna be at the Super Bowl. So join us on the Black NewsBeat page. We're gonna talk about that some more. But we only got 4 months. Who knows a little Spanish in here? There we go. Un poquito. See, child. That's all they know is un poquito. That's all they know. Okay. So we're gonna learn a little bit more than un poquito. Okay. So yes, tune in on the Black NewsBeat page. We're gonna do a little something. We're gonna learn a couple of lyrics, and also just really support a really revolutionary musician. One of these sayings that people really hang on to is that artists make the revolution irresistible, and that is something that Bad Bunny is doing. Right, his music is fun, but he also gets into real deep messaging, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that too. Additionally, if it was not for Puerto Rico, the United States would look very different today. Let's talk about hashtag World War II. I want you to look that up. We're going to talk about that some more in months to come as we lead up to that Super Bowl. But look up why the island of Puerto Rico was important to World War II. Okay, that's your homework. Next story. So let's talk about one of my favorite people, Malcolm Kenyatta. Now, Malcolm Kenyatta, rep in Philadelphia, he is very known for speaking the truth. Okay, and from healthcare to very recently gun rights, he spoke truth to power on the House floor of the state of Pennsylvania. Let's roll the clip, honey.
Heard a lot of people saying that our founders wanted us to have the Second Amendment in case there's a tyrannical government for whom we need to take up arms. I am not suggesting, as others have, that we should do that, Madam Speaker. In fact, I've constantly supported gun safety and gun reform in this building. But for people who want to pretend that they are no tread on me, don't tread on me, well, I would make you aware there's a guy I know who's treading, and you all never have anything to say about it. So save me your self-righteous speeches about standing up for tyranny when you do nothing to stand up for tyranny consistently and constantly.
Madam Speaker, point of order.
For what purpose does the leader rise?
Well.
Sergeant at Arms, clear the aisles.
Well, hello. Oh, am I back on? Oh. I heard a fight almost broke out. And now what is significant about this is that the NRA picked up this reel first and had this cut on their page talking about how unhinged Malcolm Kenyatta was. And how he was calling for violence. And what's interesting about Malcolm Kenyatta is he did none of that in this clip, right? So they completely rewrote the script in real time. They rewrote the script in real time to say he did something he didn't do. Additionally, he clearly said he was not calling for violence as some had. But what is even more significant about this clip is right after he walked off, when you saw the Speaker of the House, Anna McClinton, ask the Sergeant of Arms to clear the aisles, he was called boy by Rep. Scott Barger in Blair Huntington, Republican, and told that he better be careful. That is the kind of vitriol he got for calling for people to take a transparent look in the mirror at their values. If you are, right? If you are all about taking up arms against tyranny and you have nothing to say about the tyrannical instance that we are living in right now, the tyrannical timeline, what does that say about your values? So shout out to Malcolm Kenyatta for doing what he did, for speaking up for us. His video has almost 1.5 million views on 3 different platforms for being able to speak up and being willing to speak up for Pennsylvanians and speak up for gun reform and gun safety in the state of Pennsylvania. So thank you so much to Malcolm Kenyatta. Thank you so much. Thank you. Next story. I am having a bit of a nostalgic moment because myself and Yanni Williams, Yanni baby, she's here, Power Choice Productions. We took a trip almost 2 weeks ago to Washington, D.C. for the annual legislative conference of the Congressional Black Caucus, their 54th annual. And I cannot overstate what an amazing week it was. We had a week. And I'll tell you why it's significant for me. I'm here, I'm watching all the things that are happening across our country with the national government, with the administration, and it has been so difficult to watch. Every day, a different right is being stripped away. Every day, there's fear mongering. Chicago is under siege. Portland is under siege. The state of California, different parts of California are under siege. And what is so difficult to watch is how the people who say they are for bearing arms against a tyrannical government have nothing to say about the tyranny that is literally overflowing in the streets of the United States in these big cities. So going to the Congressional Black Caucus was such an eye-opener. When they say that the revolution will not be televised, they mean that thing. You understand what I'm saying? They mean that. Watching Black and brown leaders from across the United States of America organizing, cleaning up their cities, lowering their crime rates, raising their high school graduation rates, right? And listening to our hip hop artists, listening to the people who understand what it means to organize in our communities, it was so uplifting because I'm promising you, I had almost given up. I had given up. And I'm a community organizer. Y'all know me. Y'all know what I do in a community. And I was sitting down just like, we can't get a reprieve at our state level. We don't even have a state budget right now. They're fighting right now too. There's a shutdown. Even though the shutdown happened after I came back from CBCF, they were already talking about it and what was going to happen. Talking about all the different things the overload of problems that happen around the country. And to see those mayors, see county commissioners, see Black leaders from across the country using their organizing skills and saying, we're going to get through this. You know why? Because we've gotten it through before.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And who has led the way every time? Black and brown folks. Yep. And we're going to do it again and again. So I came back to this situation feeling refreshed and ready to work. And every time I feel beat up, I pull up a video, and you'll see them on my page from CBCF, from the sessions we sat through, the annual legislative conference sessions talking about how to organize your community. The revolution will not be televised because it will be suppressed. But it is your job on the ground to make sure that you are organizing your neighbors, your friends, your block, your municipalities, your voting wards. We literally have an election in less than 1 month. And that's the thing that I took away. Folks are saying, what's the use of voting? The use of voting is for you to say, not to say, what's the use of voting? You know why? Because if your vote was not that important, they would not be literally trying their hardest to make sure you couldn't get that right, that you don't get that right the next time. So be encouraged. I have tons. I have hours of footage from CBCF that I hope will leave you encouraged. Look at the clip from Mayor Brandon. Look at the clip from so many different people, and make sure that you're staying in the know about how to organize your communities, how to vote, and how to make sure that you are connected. We need community right now. Small things that are going on. You saw how people are talking about the shutdown. Today, U.S. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson had some very weird things to say about the shutdown. Basia, roll the clip, please. Jesus.
Young, pregnant American citizen woman who shows up in an ER and you get treated, and they pay the hospital less for treating you than some illegal rabble-rouser who came in from some, South American country to do us harm. That is wrong. The Republican Party stands for common sense. In the big, beautiful bill, we fix that. And Chuck Schumer wants to unwind it. And it is unconscionable to me that he's inflicting all this pain on American citizens so they can play games and try to appease the radical left base. That's what this is. In fact, if you're a young
First and foremost, that is not how ER billing works. I just want to tell you all that right now. They're not looking at immigrants and going, I'm going to get a higher payday for an immigrant versus a young pregnant woman. That's not a thing that's happening. I did a much longer clip on this on the page, but I want you to know, during this shutdown, you need to organize, right? They're talking about this shutdown in a way to discredit folks who want you to keep your health care. There are folks who want you to keep your health care. You know why? Because health care and being healthy and caring for an aging population, caring for a population with health concerns, is how you keep America healthy, and you keep us living longer, and you keep us thriving in our communities. Healthcare is moral. It's not just about money. The budgets are moral documents, but making sure that you have healthcare for your communities is also a moral undertaking to making sure that everyone is, as many people as possible, have care. So when you hear people saying, oh, we shouldn't be waging a war about healthcare, we absolutely should be waging a war about healthcare. We absolutely should. Tens of thousands of people across this country in 2008 and 9 into 10 made sure that all of us were able to access healthcare. We have broken the sign up for affordable care every single enrollment period since the beginning of the Affordable Care Act, since the beginning of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. So don't let anybody tell you that Americans don't want healthcare. It's just untrue. And we shouldn't have to sacrifice our healthcare to pay off billionaires who already have money and already have means. So stay connected. We need community right now. Stay organized and stay encouraged. All right. And I think that's it. I think we set those streets. We have a ton of events coming up in the community. Most notably, we have YPOC happy hour at the end of the month. It's our Halloween happy hour. It's our last happy hour for the month before we go into our holiday parties and holiday stuff. So please come out to that. Please check out ypoc.org and our Facebook page to know where that is. And yeah, we got through the first part of the show. And we shall be right back. Let's take a little break and we'll be right back with our guest, Mr. Muhammad.
gonna apply some pressure, okay?
When minutes matter, you have the power to save a life. Learn more at minutesmatter.upmc.org.
Calling all members of the Greater Harrisburg community. We need you. We would love for you to join the YPOC and become a part of our leadership team. Would you like to join our board and get great perks and access in the community? Think about it and let us know. We'd love for you to contact us as soon as possible if you are ready. You can email us at info@ypoc-hbg.org. Are you looking to broaden your skills in digital media creation? Are you looking to be a part of a great team? Well, we need you. The Black News Beat will be trying to fill various positions to help make our show a great success. We'll be looking for tech assistants to help on set. We'll be looking for writers to help write the show every single episode. Also need digital media assistants. Absolutely need some live audience coordinator. We'd love to open up these opportunities to high school and college students. We'd love for you to intern with us and learn more about the business and get your feet wet with a great company at Open Stage. So if you're interested, please let us know. We'll be taking applications via email. You can email us at kameka@kameka.org. That's KIMEKA @KIMEKA.org. Hope to see you on the set soon.
Welcome back to the show. So we are here. Welcome back to our first October episode of the Black News Beat. And we have a really great interview for you tonight. We're going to be talking with Mr. Imhotep Muhammad. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Thank you for being here with us tonight. And he has he has an interesting story to tell us. And one that I hope will yield some great results, because I want to make sure that we get his story, talk to him about his experience with policing the penal system in prisons right here in Dauphin County and how he's been affected, and his family as well, not just him. So first, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good this evening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a lot better since what I've been dealing with,
Yes.
what I'm about to explain shortly. I'm doing a lot better. Well, I don't want to say a lot. I'm doing better in some ways, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get detailed as far as like how everything played out. Y'all see what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
But,
So I know that, so we got to talk a little bit, and you started telling me about how you were treated by the Pennsylvania State Police
yes.
in Harrisburg.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit more about this and how you were affected by our system here.
Okay, well, May 13th of 2021, during this time I was living in Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania. I just moved back from Oklahoma in 2020. So I was living in Mount Carmel, I lived up in the mountains, just trying to live a different life, not being in a city. Came down to visit my mom. Everyone that's in Harrisburg who's aware of my mother, Imhotep Muhammad, she does the garden project for the YMCA on 6th Street. I came down to help her with that. So I leave temporarily. She wanted to take a break. So I leave for about 2 hours or so, go visit some family and stuff, because I wasn't coming down here that much. So I'm visiting some friends, family, stuff like that. So on my way back to go meet with my mom again, I get caught in traffic it was 7th and it was right by 17th and Market Street, because they was doing construction, which still to this day they're doing construction in this area. So
Still to this day.
So they was doing construction right in this area. So in my mind, I'm right on 17th and Chestnut. I'm like, hey, let me turn up and get around this traffic. That's all I'm thinking.
Of course.
So
like any reasonable person would.
Absolutely. So I turn right, I go up, and I'm on 18th and Chestnut. I stop at a stop sign. But before I stop, as I'm approaching the stop sign, I see an unmarked blue Ford Cruiser with 2 state police in there. The cops are identified as Eric Cummings and Ryan DeHaven.
And now, before you go on, did you know they were police when they were behind you?
Oh, they wasn't behind me at the time. But when they was sitting at the stop sign on 18th and Chestnut, they was sitting on because it was like, it's a crossway there. So they were sitting right there. And I don't know why they were sitting there. They were just sitting there. And as I was pulling up, I stopped. And in my mind, as everyone who was a Pennsylvania driver, they would have the right of way. They was there first.
Yes.
So
because you look to your right.
Exactly. And it's a one-way going their way. So I tell the officer to go, and I immediately knew because I see them. They had their window down and everything. I seen the cameras in the car and stuff. So I said, hey, go ahead, go by. He's like, no, you go by. So I'm like, no, you go by, because I already knew what was going on after he didn't want to go. So he wanted me to go again. Eventually, I'm like, all right. So I go forward. He immediately turns behind me. Now he's following me. Now we on 18th and Chestnut. So everyone knows this is a one-way going up this lane. So we going up from 18th and Chestnut. We go all the way up. I eventually get pulled over. I was on 20th and Market because that was where the construction, it went from 13th and Market to 19th and Market. So I went up to 20th and Market to go around so I can go up through Street and everything else by Roosevelt Park. Right there, when I went to make that turn off for Market, is when he turned his lights on. So he turned his lights on. I stopped in the middle.
Did you think when he turned his lights on, did you think you had done anything?
No, I knew he was gonna find a reason to pull me over. I knew I didn't do anything. I know I didn't have no warrants. So I wasn't on probation, so I knew I didn't. I'm like, I was just living in Oklahoma. I just came back, been here about a year or so, living in the mountains. So I know I'm not doing anything. So I'm like, the fact that he was following me for about 4 to 6 blocks, I'm like, he's gonna find a reason to pull me over. So he did. So I immediately stopped because I was expecting this. So I immediately stopped as soon as I seen his lights. I hit my hazards on. I grabbed my wallet and basically pointed my hand out my sunroof like, hey, do you want me to pull over? So he's like, yes. So I pull over and immediately get out the car and everything. So he approaches the car and introduces himself. Hey, my name is Eric Cummings.
Who got out the car? You did or he did?
No, he did. It was 2 state troopers. Now,
so you stayed in the car?
Yeah, I stayed in the car. So he gets out the vehicle and he introduces himself. He said, hello, my name is Eric Cummings and Ryan D. Haven. Now, he said, the reason why I'm pulling you over is because your third tail light is out. Now, the light that he's talking about is like a LED strip. I had a 2009 Scion TC. So the actual brake lights work, but the little LED strip on the trunk is what he was talking about. It's the most least important light. You know what I mean? Something, hey, sir, your light's messed up. I'm going to give you a warning. Just get that fixed. Keep it pushing. See, that's what it should have been. But instead, now I told him, I'm like, because honestly, I didn't believe him because 3 days prior, I just got my brakes changed. And my mechanic didn't say nothing to me about any of my lights being out. However, there was a short in my light, and it just happened to go out during that time, ironically. But it still doesn't.
But it wasn't a brake light.
It wasn't. It was the third brake light. It wasn't a main brake light. So it was like.
So he pulls you over for the third brake light.
Yeah, it's like the most. It's irrelevant, kind of. You know what I mean? Honestly, like it's so irrelevant. It's like if your car has it, then I guess you got to go by Pennsylvania traffic laws and stuff to keep it up. But if it don't, then like if it don't have it, you're not required to get it. Exactly. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's ridiculous. But he said that, and I'm like, hey, would you mind if I get out the car to see if you're saying is valid? And he's like, no, because you won't be able to press the brakes and see what's going on at the same time. So at this time, I'm sitting here thinking that, okay, I'm going to start recording for my safety. Now I have to pause my story for a second. Is because the reason why I said this is because in 2013, my brother was killed by the Harrisburg police in the city. My brother, Imhotep Muhammad. You know what I mean? So I'm already cautious. You know what I mean? This
high alert.
High alert. So and this is very significant because they try to perceive the way I was acting as nervousness and all this other nonsense, which I'm gonna later explain. But I'm like, I'm gonna record for my safety, and I'm like, I mean, I seen you follow me, like you have to follow me. This is some BS. He's like, your tail lights out. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is some BS. He's like,
this was during the day?
Yes, this was during the daylight, and there was people watching.
So was it nighttime?
Nope. It was about 5. I want to say 5, between 5:12 and 5:20 p.m. during the day. So it was like late afternoon.
But it wasn't dark.
Nope. It was summertime, so it was pretty
light.
Yeah.
For a summertime, yeah.
Absolutely. So he's like, do you have your license registered? I'm like, yeah, I got all that. You know what I mean? Because all my stuff's up to date. I own my car, fully paid for. I got the title. I'm giving him everything. I was trying to show him my title just to show him I owned the car, but he didn't want to see it. That's significant. I'm gonna explain that later because that was suspicious to them or whatever the case is.
You were trying to show
them that I own my car.
Okay.
Exactly.
Did they say why it was suspicious? Later.
At the time, exactly. At the time, it was suspicious. He was like, I don't want to see it. But when we in court and things got escalated, now that was, he was being nervous and shaking it. No, You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it was ridiculous. But he's saying that, but in the midst of me getting my paperwork, he's asking me questions like, where are you coming from? Where are you going? Where are you heading to now? I'm not answering your questions. Now, at the time, I knew my rights, but I didn't know the law the way I know the law now. You know what I mean? I'm going to get very detailed about that. But I'm like, I'm not answering your questions. So he's like, you're not answering my questions. I'm like, no, I'm not going to answer your questions. So let me mind, the whole time this officer's asking me this, his partner's looking in my car. They don't see anything. He's watching back seat, front seat, and then he don't see anything. He don't alert anything. He don't say, hey, what's that? Hey, we smell this. Nothing. So he's like, I'm looking for my information. I show him my insurance. In the midst of all this, he's still asking me questions. Have I ever been to jail before? You know what I mean? Trying to confirm the address. You know what I mean? Eventually, I told him, like, yes, that's my address and everything. And I'm giving my paperwork and everything. He takes all my paperwork. Then he asks me, where's my mom? He was like, where am I going? I said, I'm going to my mom's house. You know what I mean? I'm going to see my mom. He's like, where do your mom live? I'm like, why are you asking me so many questions? Like, is it an issue? Is it a problem? Like, I'm from, he's like, this is what he said. He said, you're from Northumberland County, because that's where I was living at the time. You're driving to Harrisburg. So that right there told me, oh, you thought I was doing something or trafficking something because I live somewhere else. So was you saying that I'm not allowed to travel? But I said, I'm from here. What are you talking about? I'm from here. I'm like, is it an issue? What's going on? During this time, my mom answered the phone. I'm explaining to her, and I'm a little pissed off because I know I'm being profiled. You know what I mean? Especially after you made that comment.
No, let's stop there for a moment.
Okay.
When you say profiled, what do you mean?
Racially profiled.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because the fact that you sit here and see a black man driving a nice car, you know what I mean? And
but it was a 2009.
Yeah, but I took Kevin Clean.
Nice, yeah.
Kevin Clean.
I'm sure it was nice. I'm saying like nice car, but it's like a
yeah.
2009.
Yeah, right.
It's not like it was a 2021 and 2020.
Exactly. You know what I mean? But he still was acting weird about it. You know what I mean? And then the fact that a black man coming from one county to another, an hour and some change away, he was just assuming, because that's what it really came down to. You know what I mean? Like, they was trying to search my car.
So he assumed, what did he say in the moment, what he was assuming?
No, because they're not going to say that. You know what I mean? Because everything's on camera, but they want to see the thing with police. It's a tactic they like to try to use. Well, I'm gonna get to that right now because it kind of falls back into the story. Mm-hmm. But basically, because this is what happened, right? He takes my paperwork and goes back to his car. I'm talking to my mom. He's there for about, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. Now he comes back. It's all on video. He comes back to my vehicle without my paperwork. He doesn't have my license. He doesn't have my registration. He intentionally left it in his car. So the reason why he did this is a coercion technique from police. You know what I mean?
A coercion technique.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Basically meaning like you can't go nowhere. Like most people gonna think like, yo, like I'm not gonna drive away if I don't have my stuff. Exactly. You know what I mean? So he left it in the car. He comes back. He's like, hey man, step out, come talk to me. I'm like, for what? He step out, come talk to me. I'm like, I mean, hey mom, they want me to get out of the car. She's like, for what? I don't know. He's like, come talk to me. You're making this take longer than what it needs to. I'm like, okay, I don't consent to searches. Again, I know my rights. You know what I mean? So he's like, okay, that's fine. I get out of the car. I see some people up the street. I point. I'm like, hey, can y'all record this? I mean, this guy was acting weird. He's like, come on, come to the back of the car. So I go to the back of the car. He's just like, hey, do you got something to hide on you? Stuff like that. So I'm just looking around. I ain't paying him no mind for real. You know what I mean? So he's like, I'm going to pat you down. I say, I don't consent to searches. So this is 2 times I tell him this, and it's on video. So everything that I just told y'all is on video on their dash cam in the courthouse scene this. So keep that in mind. Now, he does this. He circles around me and he touches my pocket. He feels something in my pocket. Now, this is a tactic they like to do. They like to try to get consent to do a frisk. What it is that we all know that police needs a warrant to search you, to run your house up. We all know this. So they want to try to find a way to get under the warrant. So they need something called reasonable suspicion. You know what I mean? So they want to sit here and make up things like, oh, he was nervous and he did furtive movement. He was shaking. He was doing all these things. So
what
this
is
why
furtive movement?
Furtive movement will be described as some suspicious movement, because that's what he tried to claim. When I stopped in the middle of the street and grabbed my wallet and put my hazards on, he claimed that I was under reaching for something. No, you're in your car and I'm in my, you can't see what I'm doing. And then I have video evidence of me recording from my scene with a wallet in my hand. But he trying to claim that I was reaching for something that I wasn't supposed to have or putting something, but they never found nothing in my car. You know what I mean? So basically, so furtive movement is like suspicious movement or whatever the case is. So these are things they like to make up when you're in situation, but they only mainly do this if a situation escalates. You know what I mean? If they don't escalate to like a really serious criminal offense, then it may not come up. If it's like a citation or something, and they know it's something little, you're probably gonna fight. But if it escalates to something serious, oh, he was nervous there for the movement, he was sweating, he was shaking, they're gonna make all this stuff up to build a collective and they're gonna call it reasonable suspicion. But see, even with that, sometimes the court won't let a lot of things fly. Like, for example, the furtive movement. There's something called pre-stop furtive movement and furtive movement. Now, there's a case called Commonwealth versus Repper, 2002. You know what I mean? There's a couple case laws, Commonwealth versus Simmons, Commonwealth versus DeWitt. These cases explicitly states that if a cop claims he see pre-stop furtive movement, meaning if he didn't pull over yet and he's claiming, oh, they was doing all this movement before he even stopped the car and got out the car, it is admissible in court. They can't use it. So
people don't know that.
Exactly. And I'm also I'm trying to educate people as I tell my story with this, because the cop has to be in the lawful scope. Commonwealth versus Moore, 2008, this officer got out the car. It was a nighttime stop. He started to get out of the car. He had to turn his spotlight to look in the car. He seen the guys moving and everything, but he still was within his car as he was turning the spotlight, meaning he wasn't in the lawful scope. Now, if an officer was walking towards the car, or if he was at the window and he saw me reaching towards my belt, now he would have had a stronger argument. But you can't tell me what I'm doing in my car when you didn't even get out your car. Excuse me. You didn't even get past your door, and you're trying to tell me what I'm doing in my car. That's an issue. So Commonwealth versus Repper actually takes out the furtive movement and the nervousness. But this is the craziest part. He also tried to state that now the whole aspect of reasonable suspicion is another level that goes even lower than this, but it's layered for it to come to get to the probable cause to arrest you. Now, the next layer is called officer safety, and everybody pretty much falls for this. Hey, would you mind stepping out of the car for a second so I'll talk to you? And would you mind if I pat you down for my safety? And I mean, I just want to make sure you won't have anything to stick points. We all heard it. You know, that's going to poke me. We all heard it. So they do this just so they can touch and feel something, and then they ask you the question, what's that? And if you say what's in there, you just admitted something on camera. But you don't even have to tell them, no, I don't want you touching me. Because a Terry frisk, they go around and try to perceive that police can go and just pat down whoever they want. That's false. You know what I mean? And then they want to say Terry versus Ohio. They use that case law incorrectly. The reason why those men got arrested because they looked like they was casing out a store, and the cop did have suspicion because they kept going back and forth looking into the store. So the cop was like, "Hey, hold on, they about to rob this place." You just got pulled over for I don't know, didn't do the turn signal. They want to pat you down for what? Right. That doesn't even make sense. Right. Now, it's one thing if you acting crazy and acting weird, and that's different. But if you just being calm and everything, and want to get you out of the car.
So you were now out the car
at this point. Okay. At this point, so I'm out the car. And basically what he tried to say is he went and looked at my background, and he claimed that I had assault convictions on my background, so he feared for his safety. So that's where the officer safety thing came in, right? I don't even have that on my background. He made that up. So he lied. So, okay, but let me get back to the story, though. So he does that. He touches my pocket. He grabs my wrist and starts to try to put me in handcuffs. So as he does this, I turn around, like, that's what he's doing. They both grab me. You're under arrest. Stop resisting. For what? Why am I under arrest? So now it turns into a big tussle. They jerk me off on the side of the car. They begin punching me in the face.
This is the video that we saw online.
Absolutely.
In 2021.
Absolutely. It's all on, recorded.
And the people who you told to record were recording.
Yeah. Well, somebody was actually behind us in the apartment behind us, recording out their window and caught everything on the side. And that's a good thing, because eventually I got charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault with a state trooper, seriously bodily injury, and I didn't even swing. But you clearly see me getting punched in the face, getting grabbed on, getting tased, kneed in back, everything for no reason. Now,
this is after they told you to get out the car.
This is after they told me to get out the car. But when we in court, he's claiming that he saw something on my background that scared him that didn't exist. And the court is letting it fly, but I'm gonna get to that. So
and the court, okay, we're gonna get to the court.
Yeah, we're gonna
so let's I have this is a lot of information. So let's take a break really quick. And let's let's digest, and we'll be right back.
Shout out to all of you, the community that helped make this night a success and the whole week a success. I love y'all so much.
Clap it up for yourselves one more time. Y'all look amazing out here.
Yeah, y'all look amazing.
Yes.
And the other thing that I want to say is shout out to our sponsors and VIP. I want you guys to remember this feeling. I want you guys to remember how wonderful it feels to celebrate Juneteenth in Harrisburg. We always want to have this. And it's possible because of all of you.
Yes, yes, yes.
All of you. So thank you. Enjoy the night. Join my POC. All y'all enjoy my POC. Join us. We're going to do more amazing things like this for Harrisburg, for the region, and for the whole state.
Welcome back to the Black NewsBeat. I'm your host, Dr. Kamika Campbell, and I'm here with Mr. Imhotep Muhammad, and he is telling us his story about his encounter with the Pennsylvania State Police and subsequently our court system here in Dauphin County. So we were at the part where you were literally getting beat up by these cops.
Yes.
So tell us more.
So they, like I said, they punched me in the face 4 times, wrestled me down to the ground, slammed me on the ground multiple times. Eventually I got tased and I got kneed in my back. They eventually slid their knee up to my neck. Basically the same thing that they did to George Floyd.
To George Floyd, that's right. They tried to Derek Chauvin you.
Pretty much, yeah. But they, the reason why I'm still alive is because a lot of witnesses literally seen it. And in the one video, you can hear me telling this cop, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And the people literally told him, yo, get your knee out of his, you can literally hear him saying this. Get your knee out of his neck. You know what I mean? So like, eventually he goes in my pocket. I had a little bit of weed on me, just a little AP of weed. Who cares? 2021. Everybody got dispensaries or whatever. But
and they had already decriminalized weed in the city. It was a $25 fine.
Exactly,
yep.
$25 fine, whatever the case is. But the fact of the matter is, you did all of this for that. So now this was a big mess up because, again, they thought they was going to have a big drug bust. Now my car was not illegally towed. They got my car towed. They wouldn't let my mom take my car. So they took my car. I get taken to the Harrisburg Hospital. 2 hours later, they found a pistol underneath their police car. They don't find it in my car. They don't find it on me. They find it underneath their police car. So I'm going to the Dauphin County prison. They kept talking to me about guns and everything. And I'm like, why are they talking to me about guns? You know what I mean? Like, when I get my charges, I'm charged with 2 counts of aggravated of assault of a state police, serious bodily injury, felony 1s, carrying a firearm without a license or a person not to carry, resisting arrest, small amount of marijuana, disarming a police officer, which is a felony 3, faulty vehicle equipment, and
what?
Yeah, just all this nonsense. Yeah, the tail line up. Because now at this point, again, they thought it was a big drug bust because somebody driving from Northumberland County to Harrisburg said, no, we got this guy, you know what I mean? And then y'all found this little eighth of weed. So now we're like, oh, we got to figure this out. Let's charge him with this. So I get locked up. I get bailed out the next morning. So during this time, I'm out. I'm trying to get my car back. They have my car, so they wouldn't give my car back the next day.
Why?
Exactly.
Did they say why?
No, they were just saying that the detective or I guess the supervisor wasn't coming in until Monday, so that's when I come in because this happened on a Thursday. So I called Friday when I got out. They wasn't trying to get my car. So
this guy was on vacation.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, unless they was lying, but I really think they was lying because what I'm about to tell you is gonna you'll see what I mean.
Okay, everybody, strap in, seatbelts, ready.
But I eventually come up to get my car. I go to the state trooper barracks. I'm asking him about my car. I asked the supervisor. He comes out. He's saying that they're not going to give me my phone or my car because I was under a criminal investigation. I'm like, what investigation?
What's that?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's like, you're under. So I'm like, what's this investigation? Like, what are y'all talking about? He just said, you're under investigation. You're under investigation. I had a friend with me too who sat there and watched this happen too. He's like, we're not giving you stuff back because you're under, because they were trying to get my phone and they were trying to hold on to they was trying to find something to cover this up. You're under investigation. You're under investigation. I'm like, what investigation? What are y'all talking about? So they wouldn't give me my stuff. Eventually they ended up
that was Monday?
Yes.
So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah,
okay.
so I went a few days without my phone and car. Eventually they was telling me this is where I got to go get a towing ticket to get my car and stuff like that. And they wasn't trying to get me my phone. So we drive down the road or whatever the case is, probably like a half an hour down the road. They called my bro and was like, hey, he can come get his phone. So we go get my phone smashed up.
What?
The phone smashed up. The screen is destroyed. Like you could tell someone was jamming at it and everything.
Wait, why?
Because I was recording and it had evidence on it. Because they wanted to say, oh, he was doing furtive movement, but my wallet beats that. On top of the case laws and on top of our Pennsylvania Constitution. You know what I mean? And I had evidence of him saying things. So they smashed my phone up. You know what I mean? The pictures and everything. So they smashed my phone up. So
did that destroy the evidence?
No, because I got the screen fixed.
Okay, well.
Yeah, got the screen fixed. I mean, the phone was still like real defective, but I still was able to move stuff and get stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they eventually, I was running around for hours trying to find my car. One minute they saying, oh, it's in Lemoyne, then they saying it's in Harrisburg, then they saying it's here. So they're giving me the runaround.
The literal runaround with your own vehicle.
With my own vehicle. Because they were trying to help me sell it for whatever reason.
What? Yeah. Wait.
Like,
back it up. How did you find out they were trying to sell your car?
From basically sources from downtown, basically.
Shout out to Don. We don't like you most of the time, Don, but okay.
Well, I don't like them either. I'm actually in some litigation with them right now. I don't want to get details
of course,
because of this situation. Because you know, I mean, they played a role in it. You know what I mean? But
so your car was going to be sold.
More than likely,
that's what you figured.
And that's basically what they do. They impound your car because this is what it is, and this is what they wasn't expecting because they was trying to figure out how to get me in this Dauphin County prison because I was out on bail. Remember this? You know what I mean? So if they had a way to do that, then they're gonna put my car up for impound, sell it, etc., and make their money. You know what I mean? But like I said, during this time I'm out. I eventually get my car from them after I get hours of running around. I get my vehicle, then for about weeks and weeks and weeks at a time, I just kept getting pulled over by police no matter where I went.
Yep.
Like it was getting so bad to the point, and I kept seeing this state trooper.
Yeah.
This exact state trooper.
Cunningham.
So it's getting so bad.
Cunningham?
Cummings.
Sorry.
Eric Cummings.
Mm-hmm.
So ever since it was getting so bad, I was like, dang, do they got a tracker on my car? So I went to a mechanic to look to see if they had the tracker. They didn't, but I found out they had my car blacklisted to watch out for this sign.
Yes.
And the reason why I noticed is because I later get pulled over again by some state troopers on the highway. It was about, I want to say August. I got the video, but I think I want to say it was like August of, it might have been October of 2021, but they basically pulled me over. And when they pulled me over, the cop basically was trying to find an excuse talking about he smelled weed in the car and all this. I'm like, man, look, we ain't doing that. You know what I mean? We ain't about to do that.
You didn't smell anything.
You know what I mean? Exactly. So they wanted to talk about something. I was like, oh, at this point, I know my rights a little more sharper. I'm like, I don't consent to searches. So of course they wanted to make it seem like I was high and want to do a sobriety test. I was 100% sober. I'm like, I'm 100% sober. I mean, y'all tripping, bro. If y'all want to waste your time, go ahead. But this time I knew it was a setup, though, was because it was a lot of cops there. It was probably about 5 or 6 of them. So as they're doing this sobriety
5 or 6
test,
cops for
exactly.
For you getting pulled over.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the highway, because they claimed they saw me tailgating a truck, but they didn't see this truck almost run me off the road. And I even said something to him about it. I said, so you didn't see this truck almost run me off the road, but you claim you saw me tailgating. You know what I mean? But that was the reason why he pulled me over. But this is how I knew it was BS, because this particular cop that attacked me months prior, he was on that scene. He was walking and he had glasses on. And it took me a little while to recognize him. I kept looking at this cop like, man, this cop looks familiar. And they kept looking at me, but I rolled my windows up, locked my car before I went out to their car. And they was looking and trying to look at my inspection stick. Everything is up to date and everything. They trying to find the reasons to possibly pull me over later. You know what I mean? So when he walked back, that's when I seen his name tag, Cummings. I said, oh, this is a setup. I said, this is a setup, because we had court in November.
So he was trying to find something.
They was trying to find something, because they knew them charges wasn't. It's a good chance them charges was going to stick. Fast forwarding, we go to court.
So that was several weeks after.
That was
because you got pulled over in the summer.
I got pulled over in May. So that happened. I want to say that happened in October, because we had court in November.
Got it. Okay.
So it was like around that time.
Okay.
And eventually, you know what I mean, which I made a stupid decision at the time. I ended up waiving my preliminary hearing and everything. My attorney wanted to do it. And
but you didn't understand.
I didn't understand at the time, exactly. But
and a lot of people don't understand what a preliminary hearing does.
Exactly. And for everybody that's watching this, don't ever waive your preliminary hearing.
Don't ever waive your preliminary hearing, never.
That's like a miniature trial that can get your case beat right in there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and basically, but my attorney filed for a habeas corpus. You know what I mean?
So habeas corpus.
Absolutely. So he filed for that. Now, this is when it starts getting crazy, right? This is
where
yeah.
Because I feel like it's been crazy the whole time, but keep going.
This is where it gets crazy. This is where it's about to get real, right? Now, I'm out on bail for, like I said, about 1.5 years or so.
1.5 years.
Mm-hmm. And this case is still going on. They just continue.
So 2021 May, 2022 May. We're all the way in November, 2022 November. So it's 1.5 years.
So we're at this time, we're about, I want to say, August.
Okay.
So we're about so not even 1.5 years, honestly. You know what I mean?
About 15 months or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're in about the end of August. No, we're in September, matter of fact. It was September. You know what I mean? So I was in Georgia trying to buy a house and everything. You know, that's what I was trying to do and everything.
So you had left Pennsylvania.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it wasn't against my bail conditions. As long as I made it to court, which I was doing. You know what I mean? I was still coming to court and everything. I kept in contact with my attorney. I wasn't even fully settled in yet. You know what I mean? I'm just still moving, getting things situated. So they found out about this due to, you know what I mean, my paramour at the time, you know what I mean? She, for whatever reason, you know what I mean, which was weird because we didn't even get into an argument or whatever the case is, but she sent pictures of me holding an AR shotgun to the district attorney. Now, let me remind you, these pictures had no timestamp. You know what I mean? So, meaning these pictures could have been 20 years old. You know what I mean? It could have been, they had no timestamp. Right. You know what I mean? So
just untimestamped pictures.
Just untimestamped pictures. Exactly. You know what I mean?
To the district attorney.
To the district attorney.
In 2022.
Yes. Around this time.
Who was the district attorney?
The district attorney I had at the time was Amy Swartzer. That's what I had. Amy Swartzer.
Cumberland or?
Dauphin County. Here in Dauphin County, Harrisburg. This all took place in Harrisburg. So I had they sent it to her. And let me remind you, that still doesn't give them grounds to revoke my bail because there's no timestamp. I could say if it was a timestamp within the time I was on bail, then that would have been a different situation.
Right.
No timestamp. So, but they still went to, now the judge I had before was Marsico.
Marsico,
right?
You
know what I mean? So the Ed Marsico was the former DA. Now, during the time in 2013, my brother got killed, he was the head DA. You know what I mean? Now, when he got killed, he's claiming that the orders didn't come direct from him. They came from Francis Charter, who is the chief DA today. You know what I mean? So they saying they came off of his desk and he killed my brother or whatever the case is. And now the fact that I'm in their system, there's been rumors going on for probably almost since I was a kid that they don't like my family, the Muhammad family. You know what I mean? So a lot of this starts making sense why now that they're trying to get me, because they try to kill me or get me killed in Georgia. What I'm about to tell y'all. So they
I'm sorry, just back it up a second.
Okay.
The chief DA at the time, Marsico,
Mhm.
said that the orders came from Fran Chardo's desk to kill your brother.
Yes.
So what does that mean? I don't even know what that means.
Basically, from my understanding, they the orders that was told for the police, because everybody's arguments was they could have, I mean, because the situation with my brother, they was like he had a machete, you know what I mean? A lot of people saying it was dull, you know what I mean? Yeah, you can get hurt with it, but it ain't enough to cut an arm off, you know what I mean? But a lot of people's arguments is they could have threw tear gas or dogs or rubber bullets. There's non-lethal ways they could have pursued this. But instead, Frank Charter was like, kill him. That's from my understanding. You know what I mean? And that's just from information we also heard from people in the, well, my family heard from people in the courthouse. I want to say I directly, my family heard, you know what I mean? But basically, he pretty much had no remorse, you know? So it was basically, they was trying to reiterate that again, but not have the blood on their hands this time. In a way, it still would have been, because y'all did the paperwork and a forgery to do it, because that's what it was forgery, because they sent down to Muskogee County in Georgia that I was a armed and dangerous fugitive. You know what I mean? And all this, yeah.
Wait, okay, back. You got to back it up again. How did we go from the AR-15 picture to you being an armed and dangerous fugitive? How did that happen?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, you don't know either. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
That's the crazy part. They took that picture and just ran with it. They just ran with it. My attorney gave me a call. Was like, "Hey, we got some bad news." I'm like, "What's going on?" They like, "They revoked your bail." They like, "This the receptionist telling me this." I'm like, "What's going on?" They like, "The attorney wants to talk to you." So she connected me. He basically told me what happened. He sent me the email. I looked at it, read over everything. He filed a motion to stop it. Marsico ignored the motion, you know, because they knew who I was. You know what I mean? So then I knew they was coming. So I had a decision to think, like, I can run or I can face this. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm just letting them come and I'm gonna just face it, because if I run, I can run for years, then get caught, face it then. And I'm like, no, exactly. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just face it. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't want to run after they just put this report out on me.
My God.
You know what I mean? So and then I get, you see what I mean? So a couple of days later, the police surrounded my house.
In Georgia.
Yeah.
In Georgia.
Yeah. About 15 of them, locked and loaded. All kinds of AR, shotguns. They yelling, "Come outside." I was in a old roommate. Me and him went outside, and I came out, and I'm just like, "Look, I ain't about to be doing this with y'all. Like, I know why y'all here." I try to explain to them that this is forgery. They're lying to y'all. That paperwork is not right. Like, they're doing some illegal stuff in Pennsylvania. Y'all really don't want to get involved with this. They wasn't trying to hear it. So they locked me out in Muskogee County. They went in my house, destroyed my house, did all this illegal stuff down there. So I got a situation with them down there too. But they did all this stuff. I get locked up in Muskogee County Prison. Now, this prison is very bad. Almost just as bad as Dauphin County. Very dirty, you know what I mean? Black mold all over the place. I'm talking about inmates openly raping each other. You know what I mean? It's all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it gets pretty crazy there. It was pretty crazy. You know what I mean? So I was there about 2 weeks. I get transferred to Dauphin County Prison. This is where it gets spicy now. Because now in the courthouse is starting to get involved more now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pissed. You know what I mean? I'm pissed. I'm still confused. Why am I in here? You know what I mean? So
that's 2 weeks in
Muskogee County,
Muskogee County, and now you're in Dauphin County.
Now I'm in Dauphin County.
And now we're into what? October?
We're in, October. We're about to go to court. Mm-hmm. So we're about to go to court October 4th, right? It was really supposed to be October 13th, but they kept switching the dates. They switched to October 11th or whatever. So I was supposed to go in front of Marsico. I had a little status hearing. He was on a little TV. And he's like, we talking about everything. And I explained to him about the DA. Now the DA, Amy Swartz, who I guess went on another case, and Meredith Funhandler hopped on the case. And she got to saying some stuff like, yeah, he has a suppression hearing coming up in a few next week, XYZ, or this Thursday, XYZ. So Marsico asked me, he said, after he heard my name, he said, is your mother, he said, are you related to Ishmael Muhammad? Yeah, that's my older brother. You know what I mean? And he was like, so your mother is Rafika Muhammad? Yes, that's my mother. You know what I mean? So he's like, all right. And I said, yeah, and I don't appreciate how y'all try to get me killed like my brother. You know what I mean? I said, this this DA sent some weird order out and tried to get me killed like my brother. So I basically cussed the DA out. So Marshall gets off the case
Immediately.
He gets off the case. So
he's like, no, he ain't touching that one.
He gets off the case immediately. They put me in front of Lewis. So Judge Lewis is known for being in Dauphin County as a very prejudiced and biased judge.
Is he still on the bench?
He was on the bench for my case. I later just found out just recently, since I've been home, that it's a high possibility he's the reason, because he was in retirement, but he came out of retirement. And I'm hearing it's a high possibility he came out of retirement to govern my case because they knew he was going to be biased with it. You know what I mean? So I had my suppression hearing.
He was in retirement.
And came out of retirement. Absolutely. And after, I'm going to get to that, but we do a suppression hearing. My attorney eats these cops up. They like file a brief and everything. Well, it was supposed to be a habeas corpus. I don't know how it turned to a suppression. They're two different things.
That's what you said earlier.
So they're two different things. So they mess with a docket sheet. You know what I mean? Because the habeas corpus is going to prove that y'all had me in there illegally. You know what I mean? Even if the suppression came, but the habeas corpus can be a lot stronger. So they want to turn the habeas corpus to a suppression now. So of course they do their arguments. I'm sitting in jail and everything. I'm thinking I'm gonna get out. Boom. Lewis denies the argument. He was supposed to give me a breakdown of law to why he gave me or why he denied the argument. This is all he said. He said the stop of the car and the search was lawfully conducted. That's all he said. He didn't give me no reason why and anything. So at this point, I'm panicking like, oh, they're not playing fair. Now I'm in this prison, Dauphin County prison, right? I need to just go over some of the conditions. You know what I mean? There's excessive black mold. There is
also in Dauphin County prison.
Yes. It's very excessive. It's all in the vent center. So this is what you're breathing in all the time. Heavy dust. I was exposed to a lot of human feces. Like I'm talking about poop in the showers, or it might be just some random poop somewhere just somewhere laying on the I can't even think of what it's called, but the top tier. That's what's called a tier. It might be something like laying there, whatever the case is. Like spider web.
Out?
It's nasty. Or somebody, or like one of the guys would flush their toilet and their poop would come in my toilet. And I gotta eat 3 meals a day in this cage.
What?
You know what I mean? Which they want to.
With somebody else's poop coming through the toilet?
Yeah. I gotta eat 3 meals a day. So I eventually ended up having a bad anxiety attack in there because they put me cellies with a guy who had seizures. He had a seizure at like 4 in the morning. It woke me up, started me out my sleep. You know, when you get scared out your sleep, your anxiety's already up. So I'm like, oh, what's going on?
And you're in
prison. And I'm in prison. I see this dude shaking like he's about to die, and I'm calling for help, and nobody's helping me. So I had an anxiety attack. I fell, I passed out, I hit my head, I broke my teeth. You know what I mean? I wake up, my face is swollen. You know what I mean? Blood all over the place. I don't even know what happened. So the guard eventually does his around. I tell him this. He takes it down to medical. The medical don't do anything. What they do is laugh and said, because the way my teeth was broken, it was like, oh, he might be able to tell, he won't be able to whistle Christmas songs this year or something like that. I wanted to laugh, 2 guards and everything.
All of Christmas is my 2 front teeth. I get it. Okay.
Exactly. So
very dumb joke.
I snapped out on him. I was like, yo, serious right now? My face was swollen and everything. Blood. All they did is gave me a little bit of salt water and say, go back to the cell. So then, as I'm going away, on my way back to the cell, Lieutenant Manny Rose, we runs into him. Now, he's known for killing many inmates in the prison, beating them to death.
This is a corrections officer.
Yes, Manny Rose, Lieutenant Manny Rose. I mean, he's like a high-ranking lieutenant there. He was a former boxer.
He's known for killing inmates?
Yeah, he's very known. Everybody knows this. And that's why, don't understand why he's not locked up. You know what I mean? So everybody knows he killed multiple inmates in there. I'm talking about like that I know of, like 6 or 7. And that's what I know of. And I'm talking about they cuff him up, beat him to death, you know what I mean? Whatever. Yeah. And they've been covering up. But he's been working there for about, when I was there, I've been out going on a year now. So he's been there about 30 years, still working there. And they know about this. So they run into him, we run into him, and then he like to play tough, and he's very racist. He's very prejudiced. First thing he does is tell them to lock me in the bullpen and starts to interrogate me, talking about something. He think I'm lying. He think that we was fighting. He don't think that, my story is true. And if what he sees the camera and what's I'm saying is not matching the camera, I'm going to the hole. Let me mind you, I just fell and hit my head. I'm bloody. I need medical attention. You know what I mean? So like, he left me. They left me in the pen for hours. You know what I mean? And he reviewed the video. He had to swallow his pride. He wanted to come and I'll let you go back to the cell, whatever, right? I go back to the cell. Now, time goes on. I'm messed up. The prison would not give me no medical treatment. I'm asking the nurses. I'm asking them.
When you hit your head?
Yeah. My teeth is broken. You know what I mean? Like, let me mind, like I went on for about, I want to say about a month without medical treatment. Let me mind, when they started doing medical treatment on me, they found out I started my teeth was getting infected. I had a very bad concussion. You know what I mean? I have vertigo still to this day. Like, I can't be under certain lights or I'll get dizzy. You know, I still get headaches. This happened in 2022. We're going to 2025, 2026. And I'm still injured from this. You know what I mean? So they basically wouldn't give me medical treatment and everything. But as time went on and everything, I'm also being exposed to mice. I'm being exposed to roaches. I'm being exposed to racism, excessive lockdowns. I'm talking about we in a small cell, 23 hours a day. I had to start, trying to fight for inmates to give us more time and everything. It was just getting bad. You know what I mean? Now, out of nowhere, I started having kidney failure, liver failure. Yeah, it just started getting real. Like, organs starting to shut down on me and everything, just from the conditions. So as all this is happening, I'm still in there studying the law. You know what I mean? I'm studying, trying to master my case and studying the law because I'm like, I got to get out of the situation. This is crazy. It started getting bad to the point that my kidneys dropped so low. It went from 100% functioning rate to 60 like that. They don't even know why it dropped so fast. They said if it was to drop any lower, I was in danger of like kidney failure. Like I could have been in serious danger. So they was like really trying to keep it on that 60 mark. If it would have went down to 59, I would have been in trouble. You know what I mean? They don't know why it happened. It just happened so fast. One of them I was fine, boom. It was just so quick. So they I'm being exposed to all these things and everything. Uncooked food. You know what I mean? A lot of the food was uncooked. Real nasty meals and everything, hair and stuff in the meals and everything. It was just a lot. It was just bad. That prison was bad. A lot of people dying. I'm talking about I'm smelling death a lot. We walk through the hallways.
Smelling death.
Yeah, I seen the bodies. They try to sit there and play as if say like they was carrying somebody out on a gurney or something like that. You know what I mean? They would sit there and try to make it seem like they was doing medical and stuff on them, but they really wasn't. He was dead. 9 out of 10 times.
So it's more than what the papers reported?
Yeah, it's way more. Like they're lying in there. They be killing a lot of the inmates. They want to cover it up with fentanyl and everything. And granted, the inmate, he may or may not be in it, but no, some of the inmates, they put spit bags on them and will spray them with mace to suffocate them. They'll handcuff you, put spit bags on you, spray you with mace to suffocate you. You know what I mean? Or they'll just beat you to death, or it's just multiple ways they'll just go about it. That's why so many deaths in the prison, but everybody's dying of fentanyl. What if I would have died with fentanyl? I don't smoke that stuff. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. So it's like when you sit there and connect the dots, then the coroner, he's just with it. That's why he's getting exposed. Exactly. I don't know his name or anything, but I heard a lot about this coroner who's been, you know what I mean, basically with them, you know what I mean, like covering everything up. So me being in here, and I'm actually was friends with some of the guards there and everything. It was actually like being supportive towards me and everything. Surprisingly, they was telling me things. You know what I mean? So that's how I knew what was going on. And then it is 2023 now? You're still there? Yeah, yeah. We're in 2023, moving into 2024. During these times, mainly 2023 with the courthouse and everything, I was because I lost my attorney because I couldn't be out to pay for him, so I lost him, but that was their whole plan. They want to
drag it out long enough to where you couldn't pay.
Exactly. So he has to get out the case so they can give me their attorney.
A public defender.
Exactly. So he can do the case how they, you know what I mean, and mess the case up, which they was trying to do. And they was pushing to get me to take a plea. Pushing. They coming to lie to me. They got this evidence. They got that. I want to see this. I want to see this. They got this camera seeing you throw the gun under the car. Well, let me see this. Nobody produced it.
They couldn't produce it.
Exactly. They couldn't produce it. This witness said this. This witness said that. Okay, where's these? Let's see this. But they were trying to trick me into admitting to something. I don't know. They could have recording devices, but they were trying to trick me. But I was standing strong because I'm like, I didn't do nothing wrong. I don't care what y'all talking about. I did nothing wrong.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna need another break. I don't know about y'all. I gotta my brain. I gotta digest. So we shall be right back for the last part of this interview in a few moments with Mr. Muhammad. Thank you guys for staying tuned.
La Tiendita is Harrisburg's premier store for everything Ecuador. In this store, you will find a variety of cultural and traditional products and ingredients like chocolate that you can't find anywhere else in Harrisburg. La Tiendita also ships packages directly to Ecuador. If you have any family or friend, you can also do a direct money wire transfer to their bank account in Ecuador. La Tiendita is open every morning at 8:30 a.m. and you can find them at 3126 Sycamore Street, right here in Harrisburg.
Thank you. If you've been tuned in for the last 40 minutes or so, where are we? Oh yeah, child, we've been here for 40 minutes. Oh my goodness. We've been here with Mr. Muhammad, Mr. Imhotep Muhammad, and we are talking about his experience with the Pennsylvania Police and the Dauphin County Prison. So it is 2023, and the bribery has begun. They've been telling you we got evidence about this, take a plea. You've changed lawyers at this point. You ran out of money to pay your original lawyer, and now you're a public defender.
Yes, and what they failed to realize was that, and one of the biggest mistakes that they made, and they're starting to see this now, is that y'all put me in y'all prison and y'all gave me a tablet with the law library on it. That's what they messed up at, not knowing that I like to read and study and not knowing this.
No, they thought they knew your family, but they didn't know.
And they didn't know the one that they was messing with. Right. They messing with the nerd of the family, pretty much. You know what I mean? So that's all I did was work out, read my law, read the Bible. That's all I did every day. You know what I mean? Until I mastered my case. So it got to the point to where when they did try to come, even my attorney before he left the case, he even told them, he said, this one is very, very intelligent. Basically hinting to them he's going to figure this out, because I was figuring it out. I wasn't too sure at the time, but I was figuring it out, and he was warning them. Time going, I'm studying my case. I had an old man who passed away in prison and everything. He was helping me a lot with the law. Every day we just studying hard, to the point I started getting really, really good. So when they were sending their attorneys and they were trying to spend me, it wasn't flying, because I knew, you know what I mean? I knew at a certain point I had my case like the back of my hand. Like I knew every case law, every statute, any way they could have came, any argument, I had it airtight. There's no way y'all could have went around, especially with Article 1, Section 8 of the Pennsylvania Constitution. I was arguing my case under Commonwealth versus Alexander 2020. You know what I mean? So
I mean, you still know it now. You spitting it out like it's like you went to law school, baby.
I mean, I'm right now arguing in federal courts with federal attorneys. So yeah, I got to the point to where my case honestly bored me, and I started just doing murder cases and helping people with RICO cases. I'm helping people go home. You know what I mean? Like I was helping people go home. So I started doing like federal law. I started, doing other traffic stop law, since it was like my situation. That just cut and dry to me. But burglary cases, rape cases, just anything, you know what I mean? That just to build that experience. And I was getting pretty good with the criminal law, so I got bored. I was like, let me learn the civil law. That's when it really started getting real for the prison, because I was already filing like grievances and stuff in the prison for the little stuff that they was doing. But I ended up connecting with some people. I was talking to a couple of people, Joshua Vaughn and other people and everything, which is interesting about that, because I was exposing stuff to him for a while, and they were trying to figure out who was doing this and who was getting this information out. And the warden, I guess, because he sent a article out about some emails the warden posted. You probably remember that. And they got mad, and they was wondering how he knew things, and it was me. You know what I mean? So wow. Yeah, cat's out the bag. So it was me, and he was like, find out who was talking to this guy. And at first I was a little in a panic, you know what I mean? But I was like, dang, all these inmates and all that stuff, by the time they found out, I'm going to be out of here. Nope, they found out it was me in 3 days.
Oh, so they were really investigating.
They was really investigating.
Wow.
But this what made it crazy, though. I was Mr. Muhammad now, and they knew not to mess with me. But this what made it crazier, too, because I was in touch with some civil attorneys, and they gave me a inmate handbook. And I've read that bad boy civil handbook back and forth, and they opened my eyes to what was really going on in the prison. Then I found an article on a tablet that was basically, it was talking about count nationwide, but Dauphin County Prison fit right in this category. Or, I don't want to say Dauphin County Prison, Harrisburg fits right in this category. You know what I mean? Basically what they're doing, and as crazy as this sound, I wish I still had the article name, but I probably could find it if I dug. But it does exist. But as crazy as this sound, and I don't want to say every situation, but my situation example, and there is a lot of situations. It's crazy to sound. They running a slave rank in Harrisburg. That's what's happening.
I'm sorry?
They're running a slave rank in Harrisburg.
They're running a slave rank?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
What it means is they're going around, they're finding Black, Hispanics, even some white people, even if you ain't even doing nothing, they lock you up, putting something called charges on you to hold you, so everybody don't question it. Oh, he's charged. Basically what they did to me. Oh, he did this, he did that. You know what I mean? But when you're in that prison, they're making, you know what I mean, a lot of money just sitting and having you sit there. One inmate, they're making almost $50,000 off of one inmate.
A year?
A year. Off of one inmate. That's why they continue everyone's cases and keep you and hold you there, because they're making money. That's why they want to keep trying people's cases and everything. I mean, at the same time, they're losing money, but they're making it.
They're making more money than they're losing.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. But that's why they hold people there. You know what I mean? And then eventually people be in there stressing, and then eventually, like a lot of people, they get out with a slap on the wrist and everything, but you sit out there for 6 months or a year or 2 years or 5 years, whatever the case is. You know what I mean? Now, a criminal is a criminal by all means, but there's a lot of people who sitting out there who really didn't do nothing, or sitting out there for something small, traffic infraction or something, or a misdemeanor, but you're doing felony time in a county prison. Yeah, that's what they're basically doing. And I even addressed that to the warden at the prison, and they never even wanted to talk to me about it. I sent them a request to them and said, let's sit down and talk about this. They didn't want to do that. So I'm grieving them. I'm grieving the captains, the wardens. I'm grieving all. I ain't even care. You know what I mean? I was going after I'm talking about every day. It was getting so bad to the point. They like, dang, how is this guy? They didn't even want me in the prison no more.
They were like, get him out of here.
Yeah, they didn't even want me in there because I was figuring everything out. But at the same time, I knew trial was coming. So I'm getting ready for trial and everything. Eventually, I get this attorney named John Glaze. They end up switching my DA to Sarah Phillips.
Also Dauphin County?
Yes, Dauphin County. They switched it to her. She's very evil, very, very evil woman. You know what I mean?
Is she still DA?
Yeah, she's still my DA. I'm actually supposed to be seeing them tomorrow. You know what I mean? Sarah Phillips. You know what I mean? There's a lot of videos out here, and I have access to them. I showed you them of state troopers planting drugs in people's cars, beating on people, violating people's rights, doing illegal searches and seizures. I showed this to this DA. This DA is supposed to investigate this and go after the state troopers. No, she don't. She hides them and tell the judge that I'm lying and that it's hearsay. And I tell the judge, can I show you? But he doesn't want to see it, Lewis. He doesn't want to see it. So now I go to trial. I get John Glaze. You know what I mean? This old man. I mean, my mom pays money to get him to go to trial. He's trying to get me to take a plea. He's with them. So I'm at this trial. They trying to throw me under the bus, but the evidence spoke for itself. And my testimony spoke for itself. So everything spoke for itself. So the jury basically threw out all the assault charges. They hung on the gun. They hung on the resisting arrest.
Hung on the gun?
Yeah, because they didn't know if I had it or not, because the cops got up there, or we didn't see him throw a gun, or we didn't see this, and all the evidence they claimed they had, they didn't have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, show these backgrounds. They couldn't show it. It was just ridiculous. So, and the jury was strong on my side. So it wasn't a lot of charges got dismissed, and there wasn't enough for them to continue to hold me, so they had to let me go. That's how I got out. You know what I mean? So I built my whole case, and I just let my attorney just push it, but he didn't really push it the way I wanted to. You know what I mean? So when I got up to testify, that was my chance to speak and get myself out of the situation, which I did. You know what I mean? All thanks to the Most High. But I get out, and
this is now we're in 2024.
Yes, we're in October of 2024.
Wow, so a whole year has gone
going
by.
almost October. I want to say I got October 23rd or 24th. So I'm going on the year.
And you were in there how long?
About 20. I want to say 26. Yeah, 26 months. Yeah, 26 months. So a little over 2 years. A little over 2 years. Now this is where it gets even crazier with my health.
It can't.
I get out, my health for some reason just starts to decline real bad. I mean, kidney failure, liver, vitamin D
after you get out.
Yeah, for some reason, because I was super pale. I mean, I wasn't getting no sunlight. They don't give you sunlight in there. You know what I mean? Like, they don't, you drinking like old, nasty, polluted water. Like, it's like anything you could think of. Dauphin County prison is a lot worse than what people think it is. I came out with a vitamin B12 and vitamin D deficiency. I was dying when I came out of prison. I caught 3 lung infections. You know what I mean? So every once in a while, I got to take amoxicillin or antibiotics to keep a possible fungus or bacteria from growing in my lungs. I mean, that's why I do have a little cough from time to time, because I feel like one's trying to brew up again. It's not that I'm sick. I got to keep whatever's trying to come up my lungs down. My respiratory got damaged severely being in this prison. And the deficiencies and everything, I was having deficiencies. All right, let me put it like this. My B12, the lowest a person's B12 can be, according to my doctors, can be about 200, 250, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Mine was like 106. That's how low mine was.
From being in the prison?
Yeah, 106.
So then that means they're not feeding you meals that are...
And then my vitamin D, they said everyone's vitamin D is supposed to be 30 plus. My vitamin D was like 6. Like, I was on dangerous levels. So my doctors was very concerned. Like, it was so bad to the point. And my iron is like extremely low for whatever reason. But it's just a lot of my levels was like real low. And my doctor, this is how I knew it was very serious, because they took my blood on a Friday and they called me back on Saturday. The doctors never call you on weekends.
Never.
And then a day later, she was calling me. I was on the phone talking to my bro, and she just kept calling. I'm like, bro, let me call you back. My doctor just blowing my phone up. You know what I mean? And I answer. She's like, yeah, your levels are dangerously low. So I was dealing with that. Like I said, the vertigo, the concussion, just dealing with a lot of health issues.
October and November 2024.
Yeah. And I ended up being in the hospital like twice. It got to the point that my lungs kept filling with fluid, just missing a point of pneumonia. You know what I mean? Just missing that point. You know what I mean? So my lungs would fill up with fluid and everything. And it was times I was coughing blood. Blood was coming from my
just
stool.
From being in the prison.
Being in that prison.
And you weren't like that before you went into that prison?
No, because I've done like martial arts and worked out and did all that stuff. I still do. You know what I mean? I'm still trying to get my body back. You know what I mean?
Just from being in the prison.
Yeah. And, I mean, because I'm so used to like healthy stuff, and then just under a healthier environment, and it just got put in this place, and it just did something to me. And then the mental anguish it did to me, honestly, I am dealing with a lot of PTSD and trauma and depression and stuff like that. So I see doctors. I have very bad sleep insomnia. I don't sleep. You know what I mean? So I got a lot of tests and labs that got to get ran on me and everything. Just a lot of stuff just being from in that prison, just from experiences. So it's a lot like worse than what people think it is.
So you got out October the 23rd, 2024?
Yeah. And then I've been out
almost a year.
Yeah. And then since I've been out, these people still want to pursue me. You know what I mean? These cops. Since I've been home and everything, they've been hanging around my mom's house, hanging around areas, just trying to watch. Caught us up pulling people over in these particular areas. They basically, it was crazy because like they were just hanging around the house so much to where, I started recording them and started catching them doing illegal stuff. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? So jokes on y'all want to play, we gonna play. You know what I mean? So in the midst of this, you know what I mean? They just keep trying to try me with another trial. And the second trial, I had to do a second trial. I did a second trial. I didn't have no attorney. I went in there and represent myself. I did my thing. I walked out, and that's why I'm here to talk to y'all again. You know what I mean? So now, and I went up against like 8 cops. You know what I mean? They going up there lying. They was lying from the last trial, but this time I'm like, oh, well, you said this last time. No, I didn't. Okay, can you read this? So I got evidence of them committing forgery, perjury. I even called out objection, perjury, everything. I wasn't playing. Everything that attorney wasn't trying to do, I did. I was not playing. So they threw out one of the gun charges. It's only one charge left. Out of all this, there's only one gun charge left.
And what is it?
It's the person not to possess. It's one felony one.
The what?
The
what?
person not to possess. It's a felony
What
one.
does that mean?
Basically, if you have a felony, you're not allowed to possess a firearm. But they can't even prove that I had the firearm. And
so how is this charge still hanging on?
Exactly. After the cops and multiple people said they never seen me with it, no one seen the video, nothing. But see, the DAs keep pushing on it. Lewis, I asked for a hearing and everything. I think it was January this year. I had a hearing for dismissal, motion to eliminate. Basically, it's like a suppression hearing and everything. And it was another motion. I found like 3-4 motions, but I had time to argue. Came in with very strong arguments by the books. All the DAs said was, I mean, everything that they were trying to use, because they were trying to say furtive movement, nervousness.
Which DA?
Sarah Phillips.
Sarah Phillips. And who is the chief DA at this point?
Frank Chardo.
Oh,
he's
now.
the one signing off on
all this stuff.
On everything. So, I mean, he had a meeting with my mom a few weeks ago. He's claiming to her that he wasn't aware of my case, but I don't believe that personally. Because you have to sign off on this. They got to bring this to you. Hey, can we try this again?
He's unaware and not reading and just signing things without reading it, or he is aware.
Possibly. And either way is bad.
Correct.
Either way is bad, because if you just signing things and not reading what you're signing, then because at this point, you're violating my rights beyond anything.
Correct.
Like, you're highly violating my rights.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Y'all, it's malicious prosecution at this point. You know what I mean? So it's like, y'all know the cops didn't have no probable cause. Now you're violating the special rules for prosecutors 3.8, which states if there is no probable cause, they are not allowed to prosecute the case.
So how is this case still being prosecuted?
Because it's being prosecuted maliciously, and because Lewis let it go. And Lewis let it go. Now, because of the second trial, and this is what makes it crazy, at the first trial, and I even have it on transcripts, he even admitted to the prosecutor that their case is weak. So, but you're still letting them do it. So we do a second trial, and he was really showing out. He was sitting there. They kept trying to stop me from talking. He threatened me multiple times.
Why did he threaten you?
Because I was because I was talking too much. I was speaking. They didn't want me exposing them. They wanted an attorney so they can control the situation. They can't control me.
That part.
So I'm going to speak. So they were just upset that I was saying too much. So he's like, if you say this and say that, if I tell you to stop, and if you don't stop, then I'm gonna.
This is the judge?
This is the judge, Lewis, Richard A. Lewis. And he said if I don't stop saying certain things, basically, that he's gonna revoke me from representing myself and then try to send me away. I'm like, hold on, let me speak. I'm glad you just said that on record, because then I'd be violating my 14th Amendment. You know what I mean? I'm saying, me represent myself is my right, so you can't just take that away. And also, my attorney haven't even studied this case. So you're talking about putting him in a place. He don't know anything about this case. Exactly. So I'm going to call a mistrial. So go ahead and do it. He never did it.
Okay.
and I still talk and still got my story out and still beat him. You know what I mean? So
what's happening tomorrow?
They doing a status conference because I had that trial. When did I have that trial? I think it was June of this year. And then they trying to speedy trial me again, because now the trial didn't play out the way they wanted it to play out. So Lewis now is backing on the case. Now he wants to get out the case.
Himself now?
Now after I've been asking him for years to recuse himself for being biased and gave arguments, he didn't want to. He just wanted to help his friend so much. So now he wants to recuse himself.
Who's his friend?
The DA office, basically.
Chardo's office?
Yeah. Chardo and John Glasik they're very tight. I mean, pretty much.
John Glasik is another.
He's actually an attorney, a defense attorney, but he is actually going around taking people's information and giving it to the DA's office. Yeah, and he's setting people up and everything. I have a headache. It's getting pretty crazy.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I have a headache. I am full of information. So
yeah,
tomorrow's a status case. Now, my last question to you, and I've asked some questions, but not a lot. But what do you want to see happen with this case?
Of course, as far as the criminal side, I want everything dismissed. That's what I'm shooting for.
One more charge left.
Absolutely, and
you've gotten these charges dismissed yourself.
Yes. I mean, the only pretty much the only charge I got to get dismissed is this one, and I got to appeal the other two, the little bit of weed and the resisting arrest. But that's the only ones that stuck, because the jury don't know the law. They don't know the arrest was unlawful. But that's it. But those is the weeds are fine. The other one's a little misdemeanor or whatever. But that's it. Yeah, I pretty much beat all the charges myself. I got this one that they can't even prove. So yeah,
and the case keeps getting continued?
Yeah, because they said they want to do a third trial. We were scheduled, I think, August or what was it, September or something like that. I just had a status hearing about a month and a half ago. They wasn't ready.
When we first connected.
When we first connected, they wasn't ready. Remember I told you they had
Yep.
the transcripts. They don't got the transcripts for this one. And this morning they sent me some transcripts for the jury questions. I'm like, where's the rest of the so now this has me thinking like, you mean like y'all playing games? Like what's going on? I'm trying to continue with my life. I want to.
And they just got you hemmed up.
And they just got me hemmed up. But I feel like they're doing that because they want to try to keep an eye on me because they know what time it is. That's why the state troopers been hiding around my house and everything. And I already know after tonight, I'm really going to lay low. You know what I mean? But regardless, you know what I mean? I'm not afraid of them. And I told them that. I said, I'm not afraid of y'all. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to talk. I'm going to get my story out. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So I definitely would like to see the case dismissed. I would definitely like to see Frank Chardo and his whole office be brought to justice because they're doing a lot of illegal stuff. Everybody in the prison knows of Frank Chardo. They knows of him. They knows he's not a good DA. And everybody even said if he becomes judge, we're doomed. You know what I mean? So they know that because they see what he's doing. Like Dauphin County is the reason why it is the way it is because of him, Marsco. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, Marsco, it's a debate that he was a little better than Chardo. People say that Chardo is a lot more evil, and I can agree with that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I would like to see justice be brought upon all the people involved in my case, especially the cops that attacked me. You know what I mean? So I'm really, really pushing towards that. And it's like they're doing
to sue them.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's things in play for that, I should say. You know what I mean? A lot of people think that you have to win your case,
or something, or plea out.
Yeah, or they say you got to win your case before you, because that's not true. I have case law stating you can file after the incident took place. So I could have filed years ago. You know what I mean? Which already been filed and everything, but I mean some paperwork and things. I could have filed the next day it happened, but they want to make it seem like, oh, you got to wait until. No, that's not true. That's not true. They do that because they want you to get time barred.
That's right.
Yeah, they want you to get time. It's a trick. Every day, all working together.
This actually happened to a friend of mine. He was about to get time barred, and he took an ARD. Yeah,
see, that's what they all working together. The civil attorneys and everything. That's why you got to go out to Philly and everything. So it's bad. It's bad.
And last question. Last question. Look in the camera and talk to young men like you, people who are out here dealing with similar issues. What do you have to say to them, given your case?
What I have to say to everyone that's in a similar situation like me or around my age of 36, especially in these times, be very, very careful. Racial profiling, racism is very alive, especially in the court system. They are playing extremely dirty from Dauphin County to York County, a lot of counties. You know what I mean? From my understanding, a lot of the court systems are being investigated. I'm aware of somebody actually helped someone beat a case about 2 months ago of a judge who was falsely putting charges on people, on women precisely. I mean, just to have sexual intercourse with them. Like he'll charge them and bribe them like, hey, I would drop these charges if we have sex. So this is what's going on in the courtroom in Pennsylvania. You know what I mean? So it's gone. It's like, this is what they do. And it's like, when you try to report to the Supreme Court and report these things, they don't want to do anything. So it's like, we got to stand up and speak. So especially the black men, you know what I mean? It don't even matter what color you are. Everyone has to be careful at this point. Like like I said, it's not even justice. It's not even if you committed a crime or anything. Their mindset is lock this person up. Let's make money off this person. That's it. You don't even have to do anything. That's it. You know what I mean? So people just have to be very mindful and vigilant. If you do get put in a situation, don't waive your preliminary hearing. Don't trust those attorneys.
The public defenders.
Yeah, don't trust the public defenders. Even some of the paid attorneys, don't trust them. You know what I mean? Someone that's not against you, because you're gonna know, you're gonna feel it, and then you're gonna know the reason why you're gonna know that you have someone else. Well, it's many reasons depending on where you get them from. You know what I mean? So, for an example, some people will get an attorney from Philadelphia because they know they don't fool with people out here in Harrisburg. They don't fool the courthouse out here because they know the courthouse is dirty. They know it's dirty. You know what I mean? So they will sit there and get an attorney from there, and then boom. I think it's called it's a firm out here. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but there's a firm out here that is good. I mean, it helps people and everything. But for the most part, It really depends. You can tell just from the way the attorney's talking. They just sound like they're on their side.
Shout out to Jonathan White.
Take a, plea and stuff like that. Or he was one of the ones.
He's a good one.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know what I mean? I know exactly what you're talking about too. You know what I mean? So you can just basically tell, you know what I mean, how the attorney is speaking, if he's for you or not. If he get to trying to talk about pleas and, they got this evidence, but not trying to show you that they got the evidence, and he trying to trick you and stuff like that, he's probably for them. And that's all it is. They just want you to take a plea. And because when you take a plea, you're going upstate, and then they just making money all around the board. Now the case is making board and parole. Now you're stuck in their little probation loop and everything. Then they can lock you up and put you in. Now you're doing more time, and then you're stuck in this loop. And then before you know it, you're 70 years old, still on probation. And I seen it, and I'm like, no, I'm not about to be one of those. I'm not about to be 70 years old, still on probation. Not me. Not me. So that's literally, it's a Dauphin County has a very, very serious snare out here for the young black men. Even the black women, they have a very serious snare. And people have to be very cautious and mindful, because if you get in that system, you got to be ready to really fight for your life and not give up. Yeah, and yes, but for Latasha Williams, not for French Chardo, because he's not it. He's not it. So we need to actually get all those out the office. I'm just being honest. All the judges, DAs, we need to redo that courthouse. Yeah, it's not good.
So I just want to thank you for coming on the show. This has been a very difficult evening, I think, listening to all of this, but it has been a very enlightening evening. And I just want to say to you, I am honored to know you and to see how you're fighting and to hear how intelligent you are. It is an honor to know you.
Thank you.
So thank you for doing me the honor of being on the show. And I'm going to keep up with your case.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I thank you for the opportunity. And the sad part is, I could still get even more detail with the situation. That's
I'll bring you back. We'll bring you back. But this has been enough for us at least to get started.
Absolutely.
So, we will be right back with Last Lap. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Call 911. I'm just gonna apply some pressure, okay?
When minutes matter, you have the power to save a life. Learn more at minutesmatter.upmc.com.
Calling all members of the Greater Harrisburg community. We need you. We would love for you to join the YPOC and become a part of our leadership team. Would you like to join our board and get great perks and access in the community? Think about it and let us know. We'd love for you to contact us as soon as possible if you are ready. You can email us at info@ypoc-hbg.org.
Leslie Avila just published her book, Journey to Freedom, and states, if you love women, read this book. And if you hate women, read this book as well. Have you ever seen such eyes? These eyes so wise, these eyes that mesmerize. You're invited to grab a cup of delicious, delightful hot tea while you read this book in order to enjoy to its maximum capacity. Welcome to my delightful world. I invite you to leave your world behind and step into mine for just a period of time. This book was written for you, You can purchase it now at delightisfull.com.
Are you looking to broaden your skills in digital media creation? Are you looking to be a part of a great team? Well, we need you. The Black News Beat will be trying to fill various positions to help make our show a great success. We'll be looking for tech assistants to help on set. We'll be looking for writers to help write the show every single episode. Also need digital media assistants. Absolutely need some live audience coordinator. We'd love to open up these opportunities to high school and college students. We'd love for you to intern with us and learn more about the business and get your feet wet with a great company at Open Stage. So if you're interested, please let us know. We'll be taking applications via email. You can email us at kameka@kameka.org. That's KIMEKA @KIMEKA.org. Hope to see you on the set soon.
Right back.
Well, it has been quite the evening here at the Black News Beat. I hope you were informed tonight, and I also hope you were encouraged. A big shout out to Imhotep Muhammad for being on the show tonight and sharing his story. We got a lot of work to do in our community, y'all, and it starts with Election Day on November 4th. We are closing in. We are 27 days away from our municipal elections for 2025. And that means you'll be voting for mayor. You'll be voting for two common pleas judges. Those are Dauphin County judges. You're voting for 5 retention races. You'll be voting for a host of other seats. Clerk of courts. Please do your research. We're going to have some candidates on the show for the next 2 shows for October. Do your research. The story you heard tonight, part of it is resolved if we elect better officials, ones who are for the people in the community, ones who understand how to serve people and not serve themselves. So if we don't do nothing tonight, we don't want to just entertain, we want to inform, and we want to make Imhotep's story be the story that pushes you to research your candidates and get to the polls. Every vote counts. Every single vote counts. Thank you for coming to join us on the Zoom in person. Thank you so much for being who you are in our community. We need you. So big up to all of y'all. Big up yourself. Clap for yourself. We need you in this community. We need you to vote. And we'll see you soon. Good night. I don't even know what to say.